Welcome to the In the Sweetgrass with Misty Flowers. In the Sweetgrass is a video podcast that was created as a way to document and share our culture at a wider level. Misty Flowers is the executive director of NICWIC. She is a member of the Santee Sioux Nation of Nebraska and is a descendant of the Tlingit of Alaska and Ho-Chunk. Today, Misty will be joined by our special guests, Marcella Clark and Ansley Griffin. Marcella Clark is a member of the Omaha Tribe of Nebraska. She is a resource family specialist with the Omaha Tribe of Nebraska. Ansley Griffin is a member of the Omaha Tribe of Nebraska. He is the operations manager with the Omaha Tribe of Nebraska.
Afternoon. My name is Marcella Clark. I am the resource family specialist for the Omaha Tribe Children and Family Services. I belong to the Omaha Tribe of Nebraska, and I belong to the Istasade clan, which is the Thunder clan. I come from the Sky people, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you very much, Misty.
My name is Ansley Griffin. I'm with the Omaha Tribe CFS. I'm the operations manager currently. I'm from the Incasabe. My name is Gahatanaji. It's the one in front of the herd. And that name also is under the pipe keepers subgen of that clan. So I'm also a pipe keeper too. But I do enjoy the work that I do with our children, and I'm very grateful to be able to do the work that I'm currently involved with.
Dama, to both of you for being here and for being willing to share with me and any of those that might be listening. I think this is a really, it's really important for us to be able to share about culture, language, traditions, like I said, for anybody that has been disconnected. And so keeping that in mind, so we want to keep that in mind. I think about, like even the number of children that have been lost in the system, and the number of families that are struggling and still struggling today. And so, keeping that in mind, Ansley sent us an agenda, and I know that there is a lot to talk about, and it's like, where do we start? Where do we begin? And, because there's so much within our history and our rich history. And I also wanted to say, I'm also very humbled that you have agreed to share with me and those that might be listening about Omaha culture and history, and why things are the way they are and why it's important. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you. I will chime in if I have questions, or if I want you to talk about, dive into something a little bit more. But we also want to keep in mind that there is a thing called cultural misappropriation. And we want to get this information out there to those that need it. But at the same time, and I'm talking to like our listeners with this, is that there's also a thing called cultural misappropriation, where these are things that belong to the Omaha people. And I want to be respectful of that. And those are things that need to be preserved and protected, and not to be misappropriated. And so, but with that, I'm very, very deeply humbled that you all have agreed to share with me and our listeners. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn it over to you, and whatever you want to start with, the floor is yours.
All right, Marcella, go ahead. Ladies first.
Well, first of all, to the listeners, I want to ask if there are any elders listening right now to excuse me for speaking in front of you. I don't know everything, but what I do know, I've learned from observation and listening to my grandparents, John Turner and Suzette LaFleche Turner. I remember before NICWA or before ICWA was created. And I remember attending a foster parent meeting with the tribal council, some of the foster parents that were non-native and the families of the children that were removed and no longer on the reservation. And the families were worried about their children. Where are they? What's going on with them? And we had very little information other than they're in school, they're healthy, but nothing about how are they feeling? Um, are they asking questions? You know, and today, the way our children are very loving. They like to hug. They like to laugh. You know, if they see an older person, they don't know their name, they'll call them grandma or auntie. You know, so being in the situation we were in back then, it was heartbreaking for our people because where are our children? So when ICWA came into action, um, I remember working in behavioral health, and there was a young lady came to the office, and she had heard about the law, the federal law, ICWA, and asked, she said, I know I'm Omaha, but I need to find my mom, is what she said. And she had to have been in her late 20s.
Mm.
And so I helped her track her mother down. And after that, we have people still coming looking for their families because of ICWA. And they're trying to find out who they are, who their people are. They're trying to find their identity. So today, having said that, because now the state, over years of argument and frustration, the federal government recognizes that we are a unique people. Indigenous people are unique people in a way that they raise their children, how they take care of themselves, how we are all belonging to each other, not just to a name or not just to a community, but we belong to each other and we help each other, and we're culturally, we take care of each other, and we even help raise our children. We have that extended family. And so the reason why the extended family was created was because we didn't want anybody to feel like they were alone. We don't have aunties and uncles. We have little moms and dads. We don't have cousins. We have brothers and sisters. We have clanship adoptions. I have people that are older than me that are my grandchildren because of those adoptions. So there's always some way, shape, or form where how we're related. And this is something that we want to make sure our children understand, but more importantly, we need to make sure our non-native foster parents understand this so they can explain it to our kids who are still learning. And so sad to say, we do have to depend on non-native foster homes until we can find family to take them.
Right.
And our way is always family first. But sometimes it takes us a while to find families that are ready and able to take them. So one of the things that we've looked at is being able to come in and provide the training under our children and family services. Not only does it allow us to do the basic foster parent training, but also the cultural part so that they can understand that our children, they belong to a people. even before we had the name Umohon, which was given to us by the non-native world, we were called the people. And today, we still, I know I was taught that I belong to a people. I belong to Heavenly Father. I belong to my clan. And then depending on the responsibilities that my clan has to my people is how I serve my people. So this is the whole concept behind the Hulaga and the 10 clans. Each clan has a responsibility to the tribe, to our people, to function, to grow, to be a part of a functioning group that will last forever. So that's where I'm at with Children and Family Services, and I'm really appreciative to be a part of that. My children don't live on the reservation, but I made sure that they know who they come from, and they do identify themselves as Omaha. And my grandchildren are the same way. But I just wanted to say that much. Thank you.
Well, as far as my connection to this program, I've had an opportunity to really do what I wanted to do. I kind of had my plan of life set for myself. I always wanted to, at the older stages of my life. I'm an outer now. I just turned an outer, and I'm doing what I wanted to do at this time of my life. I'm really involved culturally as much as I can right now, and the best part of that is that I'm able to do something about it. I'm able to help. So if it takes, putting documents together and plans, and and also utilizing my pipe and praying, and helping families with their names, their Umaha Wajajes, then that's what I'll be doing. Those are the things I'm really, really interested in preserving, because I want this culture, values, and beliefs to remain with our people, longer. I don't want it to go away, but I want it to thrive. I want it to be here for my grandchildren, and that's my goal. I want that to happen for my grandchildren, to leave something for them, and that's the best thing I can think of, is to leave their identity with them, who they are, where they come from, what they're supposed to be doing as far as their responsibilities, clanship wise, all those things, and not only for my grandchildren, but extended all the way out. The whole entire child that's in our tribe. I want them to also benefit from whatever we are doing here with CFS, and that's a good goal, to preserve our people. It's a good thing, and with through prayer and all the work that we put into it, I'm 100% sure that we're going to achieve that, and it's going to be pretty specific to our people. But if it's something that the tribes other than our tribe can use, that's great. We're always about sharing and helping other tribes, and we believe it to be a blessing when they come to visit us. So I love being Omaha, and being a part of my people, and so there's so many things we're working on right now, but the cultural connection that we can create for those off the reservation, those are the things that we strive for, and that cultural connection is what's going to keep them close. to who they are, where they come from. You know, those things are important to our people, and that importance will spill over off the reservation as we create those ways to keep them connected. And that's my goal. Is I want my young relatives to grow up to be Omaha connected, and that they'll be able to utilize those values and beliefs to cope with all of life's challenges, and those challenges that they can get through by utilizing our values and beliefs. It's going to be better than utilizing other things like drinking or drugging. You know, it's just the positive way to do it. And those are the goals that we at CFS here have for our people. And it might seem like it's not there right now, but we're on the cusp of breaking through and getting this implemented to our youth and our community. And so we're just about there. We're getting there, and I'm happy about it. So that's about what I have to share right now. But if there's any more that I can help out with today, I'd sure gladly do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ansley and Marcella. And you brought up a couple of really good points. One, you were talking, as you talk about the importance of culture, and for people to know, if they are Umohon, knowing who they are and where they come from, and the importance of culture in that. And I heard somebody talk about how where we're at right now in terms of Indigenous people's mental health. Our people have gone through, all of those forced assimilation policies. So, and Marcella touched on that and that's why we have the Indian Child Welfare Act is, because of all the kids that were being adopted out and all of that. And we've been through all of that forced assimilation policies and all of that. And now, then historical trauma and what that's done to our people. And now we're at the point where we see a cultural resurgence where our people are getting back in touch with our cultural ways, our language, our traditions, and all of those things. So, I appreciate you both being here today and sharing what you know, because that's the best we can do is we can share what we know, individuals and as people from our tribes. And as Ansley was saying, he's a young elder. So, I appreciate you being here to share with us today. And I know it's kind of a lot to talk about. I do want to mention, I had watched a video called Umohon, and they had talked about the clans and that there are there's the sky people and earth people. And so I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit more about the clans. Oh, there you go. Yes, right there. So what are we looking at, Ansley?
We're not any different from most of the Siouan tribes in that we believe that our coming to this creation was in the form of stardust. We've have a strong belief in that we traveled from the Milky Way, and that our everlasting life is there. That we leave here as spiritual beings, and we came here as spiritual beings, but our connection to the earth, is strong, and that we respect it that much. And so we have this tribal circle called the Hulaga, and it has 10 clans. And we believe that our life starts with a travel from the east, it goes along the path of the sun as it rises and falls. And the horizon is a beautiful place also because to the west is where we believe that our thunder beings travel from and exist. But along this hulaga, it's an encampment that's set up for the betterment of our people. And each one of those clans has a responsibility. They have a great benefit to the entirety of our tribe because they have those responsibilities. And no one is any better than the other in this circle. We're all one people in unified way. And the sky people, let's talk about marriage for one. The sky people, they don't marry sky people. And the earth people, they don't marry earth people. But the sky people and the earth people, you know, they can cross and they can have a relationship that way. And you know, way back then, you know, those things were thought of, you know, relatives, you know, try to keep that distance. And as far as marriages go, and then you know, so we're not a tribe that just don't know anything. You know, we're the tribes on this continent, they were very intelligent people and still are. And we're very close to Creator, Wakanda, Takashla. We're very close to them and we're very spiritual people. And those are the things we don't want our children to leave, to miss out on, and to not have in their lives. And those are the important parts of what we want for our people. We want that to maintain, and we want that to stay for our generations to come. And so that's the importance of the hulaga, is it's a unified approach at life, that it might stay with us for our time memorial, that you know, these things that we have will exist for our generations to come. So that's what the hulaga is about. Katego.
Pidama, Ansley. So how many clans are there, or were there? Because I was talking to Marcella the other day, she was telling me that there are a couple of clans that are no longer existent.
There was a total of 10, and there's 3 that we don't have right now.
That are not
But we
active.
recognize them, them as
Yeah.
being a part of our people. So there's 7 right now, and those 7 are active right now. And interesting enough, there's also people here that don't have clans, that are, you know, because our families, we believe we're a paternal family, a paternal people, that
Mhm.
those clans come from the father's side. And that's all the important part of that. But also the mothers are important too. And we believe that coexistence of the female and the male are the strength of our families. And that's why, you know, we try to involve the father in our case plans and try to keep him together with that mother to, you know, for the betterment of that child. We as people realize that, you know, that the family isn't just the mother or isn't just the father. It's the mother, the father, and the extended families from the both of them. And that, you know, that's how we look at it like that. But, you know, there's relatives here within our tribe that don't have clans, but some of them, you know, they're proud of who they are. They're proud to be Omaha, you know, and that doesn't make them any different than anybody else. You know, we're all equal and we're all the same, but we treat each other with respect and dignity, and we pray together, we dance together, we sing together, and we're proud of who we are as a people. And that's what the strength is of this hulaga, it is our people, and it encompasses that pride that makes us who we are.
Mhm.
Shenahu.
That's awesome. Pitama. So, Marcella, you had mentioned your clan. Can you tell me again what your clan is, and whatever it is that you are able and willing to share about your clan?
I belong to the Sky People. I am Istasade, which means Thunder Clan. And my Omaha name is Waitani. And what that means is it has two interpretations. It can mean whirlwind, or one who brings things together. And I was given that Omaha name by another clan member. She was an elder in our clan. And she's no longer with us today. Her name was Carrie Drum. Some of the responsibilities that I do have to my with my clan is that we are the ones that are supposed to proclaim the gospel to our people. We're the ones that are the reminders that Heavenly Father is powerful beyond our comprehension. And one of the big reminders is that thunder, that when you can feel it through in your body when it hits, and that you're supposed to sit still and be reverent and remember how powerful he is, that he's the giver of all life. Even that little speck of dust has a life, because that speck of dust even can get on your body somewhere and still hurt you. That's how everything has a life to it. And so when we're reminders of that, when you see something out there in this world, it has meaning, it has a spirit, it has purpose. And so, and then turn that around to everybody has a purpose. Everybody has meaning. You're here for a reason. And Heavenly Father wants you to find that purpose and the reason why you're here. And once you've fulfilled that purpose, then he calls you home, because you came down here to do what you were supposed to do. And so, and the other one is, there's things that we're not supposed to do, because we come from the Sky People. We cannot help plan things. If we do that, the weather's not going to cooperate. And, I've seen that happen. And the other one is, we're not supposed to play with water, because then it'll storm. We're not supposed to eat shellfish, anything from the water. We can't touch, and we can't touch shells. There's certain things we can't touch, but if we use them in ceremonies, then we can do that, as long as it's ceremonial. But there are other things that that we can and can't do. And a lot of times I'm reminded when I look at the sky and I'm looking at all the clouds, and my mom will say, "You're not supposed to be doing that, because you're gonna make it do something." And so, there's some things I forget, but because my mother, she's Deer Clan, and so we have to follow our father's clans. But the mother is responsible for learning what those do's and don'ts are, so that she can help teach the children too, even the young women. And so that's a little bit about my clan and what I can and can't do.
Thank you so much. That is really powerful. Thank you for sharing. Um, I really like to hear, there's a lot of similarities between our tribes. And so, now, in that, when the Wakia Oyate, when they come, I'm going to think about you, your clan. So, all right. Ansley, can you tell me about the Nkesibe clan? All of my Lovejoy relatives, it seems like they're all Nkesibe clan. I'm anxious to hear more about it.
They're right there on that. They're the part of that list of names right there under the Nkesibe. Yeah, they're right there. Lovejoy. Yep.
Yeah.
What Marcella didn't mention is that there's a male and a female in these clanships, and those responsibilities are different but similar as far as the responsibilities for men and for women. And some of those responsibilities are hube, are sacred, and some of them are driven with tasks, task oriented. And so I know from my discussions with my elder relatives that the Nkesibe were hardworking people. They were people that were the ones that did a lot of the work and a lot of the prayers. They did a lot of praying. And I know that they're right there when it comes to taking care of the four-leggeds. During our buffalo hunt, they were responsible for, like my grandma Grace, Asehube was her Umohon name. She was responsible, and as well as the other ladies in that clan, for the butchering and the dividing of that meat for our other clans. And I think even those half-breeds were even recognized in there somehow, where they got their portion too. And so today there's still these responsibilities and these identities of how we interact as clans. And the only thing that I can tell you is that I don't know much about the rest of the clans, and my focus with the clan that I'm in, I can tell you that I was named into this clan by my relative and your relative, Ansley Walker. Ansley gave me his name, and then he, according to my grandmother Grace, whom just passed at the age of 94, he gave me his Omaha name, Kahatanaj, and the one in front of the herd. And that's the part of it, and I'm very proud of that. That's the part of it that I really enjoy, because it's kind of a God-given thing, because when you look at the way that we were given these names, my name is under the subgen of the Nkesibe. It's the pipe keeper's name, and it just so happens that I was given a pipe, and you see how it works. You see how things function that way, as far as our ways go. And so, and it's never far away from Wakanda that we're always close to him, and he guides us as a people, and he guides all our native people. Otherwise we still wouldn't be here. Our existence is because of him. I believe that if Creator wasn't with us, that we would have a more difficult time. But because of our faith in Takashla and Wakanda, it's carried us this far for generations, because of those prayers that our elders made. you know, we stand on those shoulders of those people. And that's why we're still here today, because of their prayers. Excuse me. But that's the that's the good part about who we are. You know, we can still carry on what we have. So that's about all I have to share right now for that. Go.
Really appreciate that, Ansley. I appreciate you sharing with us. And yeah, it does, it gets emotional because you know, these things have been passed on for generations and generations. You know, and my heart and my prayers went out to the Omaha people this week, you know, because I know that you all have buried a couple of you know, a drum keeper, a knowledge, you know, and a knowledge keeper.
Yeah.
And those people are important to us, and those loved ones that have passed on and passed this information on to us. They're very, very special to us.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you both sharing and being here with me today, and talking a little bit about Omaha culture and explaining a little bit about the clans and how those work. And why it's important. I've learned some really important things today. We have a couple of minutes left. And so I want to see if there's any other thoughts that you have about clans, or, you know, is this enough time to go into kinship? Or is that a whole nother session?
It's a whole nother session.
Okay.
It is.
One thing I would like to add though, Misty, is we are encouraging, we need to have our tribal members get involved with this cultural training that we're going to be doing for our non-native foster parents. Because like Ansley said before, is that, you know, we cannot speak on other clans. And the other thing too is I may be missing something from my clan that somebody else from my clan knows about too. So it's going to be a learning process for all of us. And we need to have people come in and help us, you know, teach these non-natives how to take care of our children, so that when they come home, they know, they will know, and want to start asking more questions, because we don't know how long our children will be away from us. And that's one of the reasons why we want to make sure that we get as much cultural competency information to our non-native families. And so I'm hoping that we'll have people come in to our office here in Macy and sit down with us and say, how can we help? You know, and you know, there's just so many people out there that I know. There's a lot of people that know a lot about our ways, but they don't realize it until they sit down and start talking about it. To me, that's the fun part, is, you know, it makes me lonesome for my grandparents, but it also is a strong reminder of, again, of who we are and where we came from, and one of the things that we need to really focus on for our kids. Thank you.
Well, as a closing thought, I wanted to add that our relatives in all of our tribes, I don't care where the tribe's from, our relatives are practicing their cultures, their values and beliefs to some extent, and they just don't know it or realize it, that they're utilizing those values and beliefs for however amount it is. It could be a little bit, it could be a lot, They could be active in powwow. They could be active sun dancers. They could be just going to sweat, but and they could just be praying at home, or they could be smudging at home. You know, a little bit or a lot. At some extent, our people are still utilizing their ways, and those are what we need to key in on, because those are strengths. Those are strengths for them to combat um, those temptations, and those and their strengths to help them cope with what they're being uh, challenged with at this time of their lives. And those are the things I wanted to really help them out with, you know, and those alternative ways to cope with those mainstream society's challenges. So that's what I wanted to share for a closing remark. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Actually, I do have one more question. You all have been talking about clans, and I hope people cannot hear my puppy upstairs. She's going crazy.
Hmm.
No? Good. So in terms of child and family services, foster care, adoption, why would it be important for somebody to know those clans? And I'm thinking about the kids. And then my other question is whether or not your guys' tribe, do you take that into consideration for like placement?
Yeah. The reason why they need to stay connected to their clans is that they need to know who they are, where they come from. They're basically tied to this tribe through that process of learning. And there's an extensive document that I'm putting together that really is going to be locking those extended families, whether they're non-Indian or they're families out there that are extended families. We want to utilize them as extensions from our program, and we invite them in to be a part of our tribe by learning about our tribe, and they're hosting that child in their home, so that they are, whether people realize it or not, they become a part of our tribe by default, because they're going to be raising our child for this brief period of time, and that makes them a part of our tribe, because that part of our tribe is in their home. And that's the realization that I came to see, is that these families, no matter who they are or what walk of life they're on, when they take our child into their home, they become a part of our tribe. And I'm trying to give them those tools to be able to help our child realize who they are, even though they're in their home. So that's about what I had to say for that.
The other thing too that our children need to realize is that once they realize who they come from, that they're Umohon, then they're going to find out who their family is and go and research their family tree, their genealogy, and they'll find out that some of their ancestors were medicine men. They were keepers of something so sacred that only their family knows about it. There's certain things that, again, it goes back to the clans. And so the other side too is once you know where you've come from, sets the path on where you're going to go. And one of the things that I've told my children too is that when you think about it, we growing up, we have to teach ourselves how to keep where we're at, to keep what belongs to us. And I don't want to be all militant, but We have to teach ourselves how to fight that government that supposedly put us where we are today. But historically, the Umohon tribe told the government where we wanted to be. There's nothing in the history about us fighting in wars with the government. We fought other tribes, that were supposedly our enemies, but today, we struggle. And I've been in non-native schools where I was thinking, wow, these guys go to college to become doctors and lawyers, and we have native doctors and lawyers too, but that's our survival, because we have to. One thing my grandpa said to me is she has to learn how to talk like that white man. But if she can learn how that white man thinks, then she'll be good for our people, because she'll know how to fight them.
Oh,
So that's one of the things that I see is really important, that our children need to know who they belong to and where they come from, and how they can take that to heart and become the kind of person that our ancestors want us to be.
oh,
But thank you.
Wow, that's powerful. Thank you, Marcella and Ansley. I really appreciate both of you being here with me and sharing with me, and those that might be listening. Again, I am very humbled to do this with you, and both of you have so much to share.
Thank you everyone for watching. If you have any questions or would like to know more about NICWIC, please visit our website at www.nicwic.org.